What's up, everybody? It's the Brownwaterb Banter podcast. I am Jared Seymour, and I am here today with Brandy from Mississippi Roots LLC. Brandy, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on today.
Good,
Kind of
good.
a cloudy day today.
That's right. I think we're about to get some bad weather here in a little while. I'm not quite sure. I
Yeah.
was watching WLOX, so we'll see. Um, Thanks for taking the time to join us here this morning through Zoom. And let's tell people that may not have heard of you before what Mississippi Roots LLC is all about.
Okay. So my main objective is to help families liquidate goods after a loved one has passed away. So I handle estate sale liquidation and estate sale planning. So to help families get through a difficult time after someone's left all of their contents. And that's something that a lot of people don't think about after someone's passed away, is basically what to do with the contents of what they've left behind.
Yeah,
And
that could be a pretty daunting task, especially if you're not, you're dealing with the death of a loved one, and then you have all this, like you're saying, like a house full of goods, right? That you got to do
right.
something with, right?
A lot of
Mhm.
my clients do not live here anymore. They've their parents still live here, and then they've moved away. So another problem that they have is trying to liquidate things quickly so they can go back home and have, and get back to their lives and close that chapter, because that's a lot of baggage for someone.
Right, right, right. So how do they, when they hear about you, they get in touch with you, and then how does that process work? From start to finish.
So basically, I actually had somebody call me yesterday. They were leaving the funeral and they just didn't know where to start. And they only have 4 days to be here. They're from Ohio. And I kind of went through the process of what you want to, what your first steps that you want to do as far as contents. And that is to start pulling the items that you want that are personal to you. And you want to get rid of any medication prescriptions, and you want to get rid of all non-perishable or all the perishable items like food and anything that's in the refrigerators. You want to clean that out, and then you want to start the process of the home. And there's things to be thinking about. Do you want to sell the house? Are you going to want to keep the refrigerator with the house, or washing machine and dryer? So there's steps that I talk the family through before I even have a job, before I even get a client. I'm like, these are some things to help you, because a lot of people get into these homes and they're overwhelmed because it's not their house. And so there's things everywhere and they just don't know where to start. So I help with a little checklist of what to do.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's
Like you say, when someone just passed away too, that's kind of a vulnerable time, right? You're maybe not even thinking all the way straight. And also, I'm not even thinking about it from what you're saying, the perspective of somebody who may only be in town for 3 or 4 days. That would make it even that much more difficult of a situation.
it, it really is. And my rule of thumb is, a lot of people let the home sit. I've had clients where I come into the home and it's been 2 years after someone's passed away. And unfortunately, when things sit and you don't turn off the electricity, don't turn off the water, because rodents come in when someone's not present. They don't have animals anymore to keep all that gone. And the family lets the house really go. Well, when you do that, the contents in the house is almost not worth anything because mold has set in.
Mhm.
South Mississippi, mold grows on everything and anything, especially if you turn off the electricity inside a home or don't have some kind of air circulating. I always tell them, I'm like, that's the first thing. Do not turn anything off. Because when we come in, we've had them turn the water back on because we need to clean things, and water pipes bust because things haven't been running for a while. So you'll have more damage in the end because you don't want to close that chapter. It's always better to go ahead and take care of it so you can close that chapter and move on. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
call it baggage.
That makes a lot of sense. You definitely down here with the weather that we have, especially in the summertime, you need that climate controlled stuff for all those contents of that home. That makes a lot of sense. How did you get started in a business like this? Like, what's your background?
I have been pushed and pulled to every flea market, thrift store my entire life. My mother used to set up on Minge Avenue, and always been a wheeler and dealer, hustler, and I have tried to fight that side of me, and even got a bachelor's degree in business, thinking I was going to go corporate and work, and just it's in my blood, and I can almost look at something and tell you that is old, that is something without even doing research on anything. It's just been instilled in me now all these years. And I did my first estate sale a few years ago with a friend, and we moved a 8-bedroom plantation home into a 3-bedroom house for a gentleman, and he had a whole bunch of stuff that just wouldn't fit in his house. And so I just decided to start selling his things that he didn't need, and really fell in love with the idea. I had an antique store at that time, but the thought of going somewhere different every 2 or 3 weeks into a new home, into a new town, into a new space, and then liquidate those goods and move on, I like that. I'm a little bit of a free bird. So I just like to go. And,
Nice.
and
It,
you
it
get to
remind
see different stuff.
Yeah, yeah. It reminds me of the kind of the show American Pickers. I know they're not necessarily liquidating estates, but they're going through all, people's stuff, and they kind of
Mhm.
have to know what's what, right? So you kind of got to look, you got that background in you that you can look at a big, room full of things and kind of know, okay, that's worth some money. I know that's old.
Absolutely. Yes, me and my dad, quite a few years ago, the American Pickers had a spin-off television series they were going to do. We went to the Shed Barbecue and we auditioned for that show. It was just basically they were going to do the South, and you'd go into a barn and you had to pull out things, and whoever pulls out the things that were worth the most money, I think that was the spin-off wins. It never took off, but that was fun to audition for that. And of course,
Nice.
we had to, show credentials of why we are, who we are, and what we can do, and what we know. So that was fun.
Nice. What's like one of the most, interesting things or most, rare or valuable things that you've came across?
Um, well, everything value is what a person is willing to spend on something. So it's
Right.
hard to just justify what your value is with someone else. But my favorite story is recently there was a box and it said Aunt Trudy on it. And I was opening it up because, of course, you can't believe what's actually written on a box, what's inside there. And I was opening it up, and on the top it had some photographs. And I'm like, okay, this belongs back to the family, because I'm very big on karma. I don't keep photographs. I don't keep things that are engraved. Class rings go back to families. Anything that I kind of touch and have, just like a moment with it, I'm like, okay, that goes back to the family. So I was going through this box. I'm like, all right, this is a family box, but I still got to go through it. And at the bottom was a bag, and I have never seen ashes before, and I was digging all up in Aunt Trudy's ashes. So
Oh
kind of the
no.
running story of anytime I find anything like that, I'm like, oh no, it's Aunt Trudy. So
Yeah. Yes, that's
we
the perils of being an estate salesperson, right?
Yes, you
You got
do
to be
come
careful.
across a lot of things. You come across teeth all the time, false teeth, real teeth, baby teeth. It's just, and now it's kind of a tally of, we make sure each estate sale has, did you find teeth this time? All right, we're going to have a good sale.
Yeah, kind of like a scavenger hunt of all the things that you may come across.
Yes, because we go through everything. We go through all the drawers. Some of the dressers and stuff has secret drawers, and I have kind of learned to make sure to push on everything and pull everything out, and you'll find where grandma was definitely she had a good time sometimes with some of the things you find in her dressers. So
Wow, that's a different angle there. Okay.
oh
Um,
yeah.
What is what how do you what's your favorite way of selling things? Like what formats do you use? I'm assuming a lot of it's going to be online, right?
Well, right now I've just started doing online sales. I have never, ever, ever did online sales. Just because the way we work in my team, we go into a house and we have about 2 to 3 weeks from start to finish to liquidate. So it's not a whole lot of time. And I can't sit on it because a family's ready to sell that home or move on or whatever. So we don't have a whole lot of time. So about 2 weeks, and to stage a home, it's a lot because you're pulling everything out of the dressers, everything out of the cabinets, and you're pulling it all out. You're pulling everything out of the garages, and you've got to set it up, and you got to make sure it's safe for your customers. You just can't put it everywhere, and you got to tag it, so you got to price it and figure out how much it is, and if some things need to be cleaned or special looked at or appraised, all that goes into that. And then you got to have a sale. My sales are typically only 2 days, a Saturday and a Sunday. First day, we're firm. We invite the public out. The price is what the price is. And the second day is, I call them make a deal day. So whatever doesn't sell the first day, you can, it depends if I put a percentage off or just make an offer, because these items have to go. But we don't want to give them away. I kind of fall on that line of who my actual customer and client is, because I have to make sure I respect the client. This is their inheritance. This is their things. But then I have a customer, and to them, it's just stuff. So they're coming in to buy it. So you have to make sure you present it as, this is an inheritance, and the way it looks, and present it well. And that's a hard part, is
Yeah.
trying to justify to the customer, yes, this is worth what, I have on it. And I price everything to our market, because we are South Mississippi. If
Mm-hmm.
we were in Los Angeles or somewhere, with high income rates, we would be able to get a lot more for furniture and stuff, but it is what it is for us here.
That's right. That's right. And but you said you are doing some online sales like through Facebook Marketplace, I'm assuming. Is it something like that?
Yes. So
Okay.
the way I was doing it was typically inviting the public out for a 2-day sale. But recently, because of everything that's been going on, we brought 7 storage units from a client her mother passed away. She had been having storage units for 10, 15 years. And we brought it to a warehouse. And I've been doing online sales. And a lot of it it's not so much like putting it on eBay or putting on Etsy. I've actually been using my Facebook as a platform to sell, and it's been going great. And I just list an item, I put a price, a number on it, and you either want it or you don't. And if you want it, then we do, PayPal or a Square invoice, and then people can do a non-contact or curbside pickup, where I'll just put it outside once it's paid. You tell me what time you're coming by, and swing by and get it. And that's been working good.
So
Um,
the storage building gives you a little more flexibility on time. Is that what I'm hearing?
yes,
Kind of.
just a little bit more. I can go a little bit slower pace on individually putting things out. I wish I could sit on it more and put it out there in the world to Etsy and eBay, but this client is expecting it to get done at a quickly time frame, so we have to liquidate the goods quicker than what I could if I could sit on it for Etsy or eBay or another platform like that. I would love to, but time is not on our side when we're working on that.
That's right. And so if I'm a potential, if I want to work with you, right, if I have an estate that I would like to liquidate, how does that look as far as costs for me? Like, what's the fee associated with you working and helping me liquidate it?
Gotcha. I do not have a upfront cost or fee. So if you don't make money, I don't make money. Everything's commission based as far as liquidating the goods. So a percentage of the net sales. Now, if you need, let's say someone was a hoarder and you need a rollaway dumpster because there's a lot of garbage, then I have my client rent a dumpster. Or if the house needs to be cleaned for to be sold, then I'll help set them up with someone to do a house cleaning afterwards. So we do have kind of a la carte. So I start off with a certain percentage, and that always is going to be that way. But if you need extra services, I can help provide those for you.
I like that though.
Usually,
Like you say, it's not necessarily an upfront cost, right? It's
right.
it's a commission based thing. So that's
That's right.
easier for people.
Yes, and that's a good peace of mind because especially after someone's passed away, you've paid so much to the funeral home, you paid so
Mhm.
much for other services and things, and you've got somebody coming in, and now you're kind of talking about another side of your inheritance, and that's something that I respect. The home is an inheritance or the items, so we go in and we try to respect everything, and there's no upfront cost or fees. I pay for my own advertisement. Everything like that comes out of the commission.
Nice. That's good. That's good to know. I think that's I like what you're doing. It's a really cool service. Like we say, kind of a bad time in someone's life potentially, but it happens,
Right.
and you can make
Well,
that transition easier, right?
right. We've done moving sales where people move their loved ones into an assisted living or even a retirement home, and I'll come in and liquidate the goods. So it's not always someone passing away, but I would say 80% of our clients are someone who's passed away or moved on. So I'm pretty flexible on how, but the home does have to be empty and not occupied. I tried to do that one time and had the gentleman trying to make coffee while I was there butt naked. So we don't do that anymore. I'm
Okay.
like, you're not supposed to be here.
Yeah, I can respect that.
Yeah, so
That's
no
not.
more living in home estate sales.
Yeah, yeah. Good rule. That's a good rule. That's a good rule.
Yeah,
Well,
and we just try to respect everybody and what they're going through. I kind of play a not what psychiatrists do, but I try to be sympathetic because and I have a job to do. They hire me to do a job, and I know that it's emotional. And so sometimes they have to detach themselves because at the end of the day, I do have a job. This is what you hired me to do. So that's hard too. So I have to wear many hats
yeah.
um, from start to finish.
So Brandy, if people are listening to this or watching this and they want to work with you, if they have an estate that they need to liquidate, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
I do have a Facebook page that's pretty popular. We do a lot of sales on there, and it's Mississippi Roots LLC. My phone number is 228-326-9962. And I do have a website, and you can contact me any way you can get to me. I'll return the call to you and talk to you for free. I do free consultations. I will talk your ear off on how to plan and figure out what your needs are, because every single client's different. Every single person needs different needs. Not everybody needs to sell their home or needs it clean, or everybody's different, or only has a week to sell or to get everything out. I've had that before where the home sold quicker than expected, and they needed to liquidate items in a week, and I'm like, all right, what you get for a week though.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Well, look, Brandy, thank you so much again for taking the time out to talk to me. And people, go check her out if that's something that you have. If you need to liquidate an estate, Brandy's the person to talk to. So go check her out. Hit her up on Facebook, Mississippi Roots LLC. Look her up, send her a message. Brandy, thank you so much for doing this through Zoom, and good luck to you. We'll talk to you
Thank,
later.
thank you. Bye.
All right, bye
Appreciate
bye.
it.